pre-season talking at the Dog and Parrot. Great to have you here. From my perspective, this is a big season for the owners, it's a big season for the players, and it's a huge season for the supporters, because for the first time we are walking into a season with one thing: hope
and confidence. I think from talking with all the Newcastle fans as I've come down from the ground, you know, you get that real buzz where for 15 years now we've sort of almost given up hope at times, knowing that just nothing was going to actually be put into the side that will give that chance of a bit of success. All of that is now so turned around, it is untrue. It really is, and it's going to take a while. It's going to take some serious work over a few years, but I have every confidence that Newcastle United will be at the top in years to come, and I think that they did well in that last half of the season, did the side, after an absolutely horrendous start where we all thought, I think, that promotion was on the cards, but that got turned round. But I think that we're looking for a real positive start today. We didn't have positivity at all last season, in that earlier part of the season, and well, I think it's going to be really exciting, and I think that there's going to be an atmosphere which, if anything, it'll be frightening the Nottingham Forest players, that's for sure. It will be something that's going to be sitting on their head for the whole of the 90 minutes.
Eddie Howe might not have won Manager of the Year for the Premier League. He certainly was our Manager of the Year. He's just been given an extension to his contract. Is that well deserved?
I think that the board have rightly recognised the fabulous job that Eddie has done in a very short space of time. The way the whole thing turned around in his first 2 or 3 months was quite remarkable, and it just shows what utter crap we were having to put up with, and you know, it got to the stage where I was watching players, I thought, you're not really trying, you're not really putting it in. But Eddie Howe has come in and he's just changed the whole ambience of the place. It's and everybody's now focused. They're wanting to win matches, they're wanting to win trophies. That's the feeling that I get, and I had forgotten what that feeling was for a very long time.
He made a big call in the pre-season. He gave Jamal Lascelles the captaincy again. What did you make of that?
Sorry?
Jamal Lascelles, he's been given the captaincy this season. What did you make of that?
Has he really? Dear me. I think there's an outstanding captain in the side, and he will play a captain's role, even though he hasn't got the armband, he hasn't had the official recognition, and that's Trippier. He's a born leader, is the fella. Lascelles, well, I think for most of this season he's going to be the club captain, and they'll need another captain out on the pitch, because I can't see him playing that much at all unless there's a few back four injuries, and I think Eddie Howe's has got him sussed. I understand though from what players have said that he probably is a much better leader than he is a player, but the problem for me is I have seen Lascelles too many times wanting people to cover him, that he's not prepared to go and make a challenge on a player. He hasn't got the confidence in himself, not until he's got the cover round there. Well, that means that all the time the back line was dropping off because of Lascelles. What we need is a back line that pushes up and looks to get the play as far away from goal as is possible. Lascelles doesn't do that.
Under Mike Ashley, the transfer window used to start on the last day, and we'll be looking to bring in Sibierski or Shefty Kuchi or whoever else was free. This new owner, PIF, with Amanda and Mirdad and Jamie Rubin are a different kettle of fish altogether. They've got to follow the financial fair play. Newcastle's turnover hasn't been the same as, say, Manchester City's over the last 14 years. So from our perspective, we know that we have to build this up slowly. But the signings they made in January transformed the club and kept us up. They've made some shrewd signings again this window, with still, just over 3.5 weeks left of the transfer window to go. We've signed a goalkeeper. I think we all thought we need a striker. We've still got time to bring one in, a goal scorer. We brought a goalkeeper in. Was that a good move? And who do you think will start today? Nick Pope or Martin Dubravka?
I think Nick Pope will start for sure. I think he's a better goalkeeper than Dubravka. Dubravka, he was doing ever so well until he went away on international duty, and his country got beat 5-0, and he literally chucked all 5 in. Literally was dropping them over the line, and since then he has much less confidence in himself than he used to show before that match, and I think that match changed him forever. And in football, sometimes what a player needs is a change of scenery, get a change of attitude, change of dressing room company, and I think that it's time for Dubravka to move on. And of course, Schmeichel he's moving on from Leicester. Newcastle is showing a huge interest in Maddison. Well, Dubravka could make a perfect make weight in the deal, and I think that would be an excellent piece of business. Dubravka in part exchange for Maddison. I think that would be great. It would be great all round for the two clubs, for the players, in particular for Dubravka. I think he needs a new and different type of challenge away from Newcastle.
This time last year, if I'd stood here and said Joeinton is going to be player of the season, Malcolm, what would you have said to us?
I think I wouldn't have said anything. I'd just have shot you. Yes, the turnaround has been quite remarkable, but it begs the question, because a player doesn't just suddenly change his form in such a way as Joeinton did. Something must have been going on with regards to Steve Bruce, because there were so many bad performers, and Joeinton he looked as if he hadn't got a clue how to play the game. But Eddie Howe's come in, and all of a sudden that's all changed around, and you're seeing a different attitude in so many others. And so Joeinton, just an interesting statistic, from the time that Eddie Howe came in and found this sort of new position for Joeinton last season was the most successful midfield player at winning the ball. And if you can take the possession away from the opposition and start creating in your own side from there, and Joeinton was doing that absolutely brilliantly. But it still leaves me scratching my head what the hell was going on under Steve Bruce. I just found it extraordinary. I've never come across anything like it ever before in the game.
Let's talk about one player that definitely splits the fans down the middle. Alison Maximin. It's a crunch season for him. What's your views on the enigmatic Frenchman?
Well, and I think also in that same company you can put Almiron as well. That Almiron has been here 3.5 years, and I don't think he's got into double figures for goals. 3.5 years, not even in double figures. Dear me, I know centre halves who do much better than that in goal scoring terms. But when I was at Luton, when I joined there from Fulham, I was just 19, and the manager was a fellow by the name of Alex Stock. Now, he did something quite extraordinary, and I've never known anybody else to do it. And what it was on the Friday before the first game of the season, he came into the dressing room and he named the 11 players that were starting, told everybody else to piss off out the dressing room, and he had us all sat in numerical order around 3 walls on the bench seating. And he started this session with, the good people of Luton Town, they're going to be coming in their droves to watch you, and the least you can do is get them promotion. What do you say? So we all dutifully nodded and said, yeah, right, let's get promoted. No other manager that I know of or have heard of ever talks about promotion, winning things, winning it specifically, because they don't want to bring that sort of that fear of bad luck into the camp. Alex Stock just met it head on. And what he did, he said, right, I'm now going to tell you how to get promoted. He said, we need, at one end, to concede only a maximum of 36 goals in the 46 games that we were playing. And he said, the coach will be working every day with you defenders to make sure that happens. Now, the other end, he said, we have to score a minimum of 82. Now, I'm going to tell you where they're coming from. And he said to the goalkeeper, don't expect you to score any, but I do expect you to save at least 3 penalties. John Ryan at right back, you love an overlap, and I've got you down for 5 goals. Jack Bannister, you shit your pants every time you cross the halfway line, but nevertheless I've got you down for 3. And he continued round, giving everybody a target of goals. And they were big targets. We had to score a minimum of 82 goals, and the targets he gave us added up to more than 82. As it so happens, we all pretty much got the targets, and we were promoted. So it works. What should be done with St Maximin and with Almiron is for Eddie Howe to give them a target. Right, from Almiron, I want you to score a minimum of 10 goals, and you've got to make another 10. St Maximin, a target of 12 goals, and you've got to make at least 20. With your skills, that's what you should be able to do. And it's not asking anything impossible, but these players, they seem satisfied if they come off and they still haven't scored. Well, I'm afraid that goes completely against my thinking, because if you come off and you haven't scored, you haven't made any goals, what the hell have you done for the team? Simple as that. Because the game is about goals. Nothing else. It's not about fancy footwork, it's about goals. So, you've got to make them, you've got to score them. And they should be given targets to aim at. And because if they're not given targets, they go out and they are aimless. And I've seen Almiron go on runs that if somebody had opened the gate at the end of the pitch, he would have finished up running down Northumberland Street, for heaven's sake. And that's because he's not clued up, he's not switched on to the fact that the only thing that wins matches and losing matches are goals. Simple as that. You can nutmeg people as many times as you want, but it's not going to win you anything. And so what we want are people who are prepared to win things. And that's why I think that those players, the two of them, should be given targets to score and targets as to how many you've made for others. And once we've got that kind of mentality in the side, I'll tell you what, it can half quickly rub off. It really does. You know, and St Maximin, when you think of the amount of time he has on the ball through each game, by heavens, he should be getting 6-7 shots in every game. But he doesn't. So there's a problem. There is a big, big problem. And so, for me, if St Maximin, if he hasn't started scoring and making goals after 8 games, out. For me, he's got to prove himself by doing the most important things in the game, and that is scoring goals and making goals.
Mal, you wore the number 9 at Newcastle. You're a legend, and rightly so. Callum Wilson's got the shirt now. How do you think he'll do this season?
While he's fit, he's going to do very well. He is a natural born goal scorer, and I enjoy watching him go with his trade. I really do. The problem is, of course, that he is somewhat injury prone, and if he's not in the side, then we've got nobody really to replace him, because yeah, we got Chris Wood. I think Chris Wood has got us. Yeah. Do you know, I saw Chris Wood. He actually scored a goal last season from open play, and he made a run into the box. I was absolutely shocked, because I didn't think he was capable. But he's made this really positive run into the box, to the far post, the cross has come over, he side-footed it into the net. Great. Do it again. But he didn't. He never made another run, positive run, like that for the rest of the season. So he learnt nothing from the goal that he scored. And so I just find people like that very, very frustrating indeed. He doesn't seem to have the desire to take on the centre half and really rattle it all over the place, that he sort of cowers and lets people dominate him. And then and he doesn't get into the box to dominate in there as well. You watch Wilson, he dominates. That he's giving problems to the centre half all of the time. So it is imperative that before the transfer window closes, we must get in somebody else who can score goals.
Nottingham Forest, welcome back to the Premier League. God, they've spent some money, and they're still good. 11 players they've brought in. So what are your predictions for Newcastle versus the Tricky Trees today?
You know, two seasons ago, another side got promoted to the Premiership and spent about the equal amount to what Forest have spent. And it was a transformed side that they turned out. It was Fulham. And they were relegated. You know, so I I'm not so sure about Forest at all, that whether they have really brought in the quality that's necessary. So, I think that they're going to struggle, but rather than even consider Forest, games like this, with the way that Newcastle are now, should just be able to take it for granted you're going to beat the bastards. Simple as that. And the defeat doesn't come into the equation at all. And so, I'm looking at today, and I'm wanting to see Newcastle United with some really good play just steamroller Forest. And okay, so they've spent 100-odd million, but so what? You know, we've seen Fulham do exactly the same 2 seasons ago and fail miserably. I hope Forest fail miserably.
Ladies and gentlemen, Supermac will be back after the match. He has kindly signed a programme. We'll do the usual raffle, £2 a strip, 3 for a £5. I'll come round with that after you put your hands together for Supermac. He'll be back about 5:30, 5:45 tonight, traffic dependent.
Alright, see you guys.
Thanks, mate. Brilliant.